It's a commercial flight. The tickets are cheap, usually the seats are empty, and you're helping pay for it.
How much are taxpayers covering for every flight?
Why should taxpayers subsidize an airline like yours?
Monday at 11 on K2 News after Castle. K2 News voted Best Newscast by the Associated Press.
I'm Dan Harris, and this is World News. Tonight, Dick Cheney on the attack, the former vice president engaging in an extraordinary public debate with the new White House, which he accuses of endangering America. On the run, a tidal wave of fleeing families, tens of thousands of them, a major human crisis tonight as the war on the Taliban escalates. Miami Heat, the priest and TV host known as Padre Oprah, photographed cuddling with a woman on the beach, reigniting the debate over celibacy. America's worst mom on this Mother's Day, the mom who's been called that and worse for letting her 9-year-old ride the subway alone. And Barack Obama's new role, comedian-in-chief.
My next 100 days will be so successful, I will be able to complete them in 72 days.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is World News.
Good evening. Dick Cheney was not a traditional vice president, and he's not turning out to be a traditional former vice president either. While the former president, George W. Bush, has been laying low since he left office, Cheney was on the air today accusing the Obama administration of making America less safe. And while Cheney was making his case, President Obama's national security advisor was on ABC News punching back. We start tonight with ABC's John Hendren.
President Bush has refused to criticize his successor, but the former vice president is not holding to that tradition. Today, Dick Cheney accused his successors of putting the nation in danger by closing Guantanamo Bay and ending the harsh interrogation of prisoners.
They have moved to take down a lot of those policies we put in place that kept the nation safe for nearly 8 years from a follow-on terrorist attack like 9/11.
The president's national security advisor fired back.
Well, I don't believe that. The Obama administration inherited a situation at Guantanamo that was intolerable.
Cheney has launched something of an anti-Obama campaign, while former President Bush observes the customary silence.
The reason I've been speaking is because I think the issues that are at stake here are so important.
The president is also taking heat from the left after administration officials acknowledged he might revive the military commissions created by President Bush to try suspected terrorists.
If the military commissions indeed do go forward, yes, President Obama will have betrayed a fundamental promise that he made as candidate and as president.
Past military commissions were criticized as slanted against defendants and bumbling. The administration says new tribunals would be fairer, but there's also the question of where the prisoners would be sent to. One likely option, military prisons on American soil.
This is nuts. I mean, this is just crazy. These are not American nationals. We have no obligation to keep them here.
Senator John McCain supports closing Guantanamo, but says the president should have first figured out how to try the prisoners and where to put them.
That is a terrible mistake. Announce the closure, but don't address the underlying problems that a lot of us have been wrestling with for years.
President Obama has pledged to close Guantanamo by January. John Hendren, ABC News, the White House.
Back to Dick Cheney for just a moment. He also had some tough words for a former colleague today. Colin Powell, who served with Cheney in the Bush administration, has been having a public dispute over the future of the Republican Party recently with the talk show host Rush Limbaugh. Asked to choose sides today, Cheney said, quote, "I'd go with Rush." Today, the president of Afghanistan, Hamid Karzai, warned that growing civilian casualties from U.S. airstrikes are turning ordinary Afghans against America. But President Obama's national security advisor said the airstrikes, which target Taliban fighters, will continue. General James Jones said, quote, "We can't fight with one hand tied behind our back." There is a serious crisis tonight across Afghanistan's border in Pakistan. At the urging of the Obama administration, Pakistan's government has launched a major offensive against the Taliban inside of Pakistan. But the fighting is now forcing huge numbers of people out of their homes. ABC's Nick Schifrin is on the road leading out of the fighting taking place in Pakistan's Swat Valley.
Anyone who can is fleeing the fighting, in a sign of how violent the conflict has become. When the government lifted the curfew for just a few hours today, a staggering 150,000 people fled. The Taliban captured our town, he says. There is no water, no gas, no power, and people are hungry. 20 miles from the fighting, refugees receive food from the UN. A family of 6 only gets enough grain to eat 1 piece of bread each day. But they are the lucky ones. Shaista lost her father, mother, and 2 sisters when a bomb fell on her family as they fled. We were leaving with other people, she says. A lot of people died.
People left as soon as they could and after the military ordered them to. And now that most of the residents have left the area, the Army will better be able to avoid civilian casualties and is expected to increase its operations.
We saw convoys of troops reinforcing 15,000 soldiers, battling 4,000 Taliban. Militants have taken over much of this area, and U.S. officials have questioned the government's control of the situation. But a defensive Pakistani president insisted the army has enough troops to defeat the Taliban.
We have a threat, yes. Is the state of Pakistan going to collapse? No.
But if Pakistan is going to create lasting peace, it must develop an area that is impoverished and poorly governed.
The big challenge will be, will the Pakistani military be able to hold the territory and then, most importantly, build and provide basic services to its citizens? When the state fails in those areas, that's when you see the Taliban come back in and fill the gap.
Which is why the president says this is a war for Pakistan's existence. Nick Schifrin, ABC News, Takbai, Pakistan.
And back in this country tonight, this weekend is ending on a much better note than it started for tens of thousands of people in Southern California who are back in their homes tonight after firefighters, with a big assist from the weather, gained the upper hand on that raging wildfire. Brian Rooney is watching the fires for us once again tonight.
As firefighters stomp out troublesome hotspots, investigators are looking at this hiking trail in the hills as the possible starting point. The fire has cost $7.5 million to fight and burned down 31 houses. In foggy weather, it's laid down, but no one is declaring victory.
I want to remind everybody that 55% containment means that 45% of it is not contained.
Most of the 30,000 evacuees have been allowed to go home. Only about 350 people are still under mandatory evacuation, among them JJ and Barbara Jennings, who can't get to their house.
From afar, it looks okay, and the fireman was nice enough to tell us that nothing happened to it. Even though we couldn't see it, he said, don't worry, he said, nothing wrong with your house.
But the hills all around their home are charred.
It was beautiful up here. It was, you know, it looked like a piece of heaven up here.
Among the 4,500 firefighters here are mothers, fighting fire through Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Joy.
Joy Anderson ate breakfast this morning before a 24-hour shift.
I'd rather work Mother's Day than Christmas or Thanksgiving, but you think about your kids a lot.
Everyone here is grateful to the firefighters. This being a beach town, they were honored in a sculpture of sand.
What you're looking at now may be the biggest historical loss of this fire. A 100-year-old craftsman house. It had 3 chimneys. It was huge. It belonged to the botanical garden here. Today, we have a lot of helicopters overhead dropping water on the fire. We can hear chainsaws in the brush. Dan, the firefighters are putting on a big push to get full containment by Wednesday.
And as the firefighters clearly said in your piece, this thing is not over. Brian Rooney reporting from California again tonight. The governor of West Virginia has declared a state of emergency in several counties in that state after heavy rains flooded hundreds of homes and washed out roads. 300 National Guard troops have been mobilized to help with the cleanup. The rains were from the same storm that killed 6 people from Kansas to Kentucky on Friday. Tens of thousands of homes and businesses still do not have power tonight. And now to the economy and a blunt message today from Vice President Biden. Speaking at Syracuse University commencement in upstate New York, Biden acknowledged that good jobs are hard to find in these tough times. And this is something the class of '09 knows all too well. ABC's David Wright is in Syracuse tonight.
At Syracuse University, commencement had all the usual pomp, but the circumstances have definitely changed. Today, Vice President Biden acknowledged as much.
You are graduating into a world of anxiety and uncertainty. You're walking across this stage without knowing exactly what's going to be on the other side.
Bill Palka majored in journalism, only to graduate in a year when one newspaper after another is going bust.
It gets a little bit annoying after a while, actually, hearing it from family members or friends. I just kind of want to say, you know, I get it. I know I'm graduating at a bad time.
Get your bachelor's degree?
Yes.
Great.
Tori Hornstein has a job, but it wasn't her first choice. Like many in the class of 2009, she'll do community service, in part because the companies she had hoped to work for aren't hiring.
It wasn't so much rejection letters as really regretful people saying, we have a hiring freeze, or at this point, we can't do it.
College graduations are always a celebration, but there's always that vague sense that the party's over. And for the class of 2009, that's particularly true. These students are graduating into one of the worst job markets in a generation. 2 years ago, half the graduating class had a full-time job lined up by now. This year, less than 20% do. Are you looking forward to graduating? Sounds like not so much.
No, not so much.
Jody Ellsworth has had a full-time job for 4 years, working as much as 60 hours a week to pay her way through school. And she's majored in 3 subjects. All that comes to an end today.
What I will do now is it anything, absolutely anything. Any crap job that I can get, I'm gonna take. Babysitting, working on cars.
4 years ago, these young men and women enrolled with high hopes. Now, they're setting their sights a little lower. David Wright, ABC News, Syracuse, New York.
And at Cape Canaveral tonight, a rare sight, 2 shuttles side by side. Atlantis launches tomorrow on a risky mission to repair the Hubble Space Telescope. The shuttle Endeavour is there in case the Atlantis crew needs to be rescued. Over 19 years, Hubble has given scientists much more than they expected, both images and insight into the cosmos. But this is the last repair mission. Scientists hope it will keep Hubble going for at least 5 more years. And coming up here on World News this Sunday, a rising star in the Catholic Church caught in the arms of a woman. His parishioners say it's time to let priests marry. The woman some call the world's worst mother because she let her 9-year-old ride the subway alone. The emotional debate she's provoked over how much kids need to be protected. And President Obama doing stand-up comedy.
Now, Sasha and Malia aren't here tonight because they're grounded. You can't just take Air Force One on a joyride to Manhattan. I don't care whose kids you are.
This is World News, brought to you by the Salvation Army.
Amazing Grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead,
drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak,
a rich,
like me.
I once was homeless,
Broken. Sad.
Just lost. But now I am sober.
Happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
There's a big reason to lower high cholesterol. Dangerous plaque that can build up in arteries. It's called atherosclerosis, or athero, and high cholesterol is a major factor. But Crestor can help slow the buildup of plaque in arteries. Go to arterytour.com and take an interactive tour to learn how plaque builds up. And then ask your doctor if Crestor is right for you. Along with diet, Crestor does more than lower bad cholesterol and raise good. Crestor is proven to slow the buildup of plaque in arteries. Crestor isn't for everyone, like people with liver disease or women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests will check for liver problems. You should tell your doctor about other medicines you're taking, or if you have muscle pain or weakness, that could be a sign of serious side effects. Learn more about plaque buildup at arterytour.com. Then ask your doctor if it's time for Crestor.
If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Hi there. Looks like you found your car insurance.
Yeah, but wow, it looks like you guys have everything.
We sure do. We help millions of people save. Look, we're #1 in motorcycle insurance, a leader in boat and RV, and...
Oh, wait, let me guess. You're the #1 truck insurer.
Wow, first guess!
Nailed it.
Oh, you're psychic! What am I thinking of right now?
Tacos?
Yes! Helping you save money no matter what you drive. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
It's a revolution
in pain relief.
The new Icy Hot Medicated Roll. Take what you need for shoulders, backs, joints, even arthritis. Medicated Relief gets icy to dull pain, hot to relax it away. The new Icy Hot Medicated Roll.
With the roll, pain's under control.
I'm Mark Goldston, Chairman and CEO of Net Zero. Here's a plan for America's broadband users to save $16 billion a year and $300 individually. Switch to Net Zero dial-up at $9.95 per month. Call 1-800-NET-ZERO or go to netzero.com.
Today, Pope Benedict held an open-air mass in the heart of the Arab world. 20,000 people filled a soccer stadium for the event. Benedict, who is on his first pilgrimage to the Holy Land as Pope, praised the courage of Christians in the Middle East who have held on to their faith despite persecution and war. The Catholic community in Miami is reeling tonight from a sex scandal involving a very popular priest there. He's admitting to violating his vows with a woman he's known for years. He says he's in love, and he is provoking a major discussion on celibacy. They call him Padre Oprah, Father Alberto Coutier, the nationally known Spanish-language television host, advice columnist, and best-selling author of Real Life, Real Love. He now appears to be getting a dose of both of those things after a Mexican magazine ran these pictures of Father Coutier cuddling with a woman on a Florida beach, a woman identified in the media as a 35-year-old divorced mother. In an interview with the Spanish-language network Univision, Father Coutier now says he doesn't want to give up either his collar or the woman he loves. What I can say with all certainty, he says, is that is a woman that I love, that I liked her since I met her. After these photos appeared, Coutier was immediately relieved of his duties as a priest. Today, his parish held its first Sunday Mass without him. This scandal is reigniting the long-running debate over priest celibacy. Critics, including some priests, argue that celibacy is at the heart of the church's current problems, including the shortage of priests and the sex abuse scandals.
What he did was wrong, the way he did it, but I agree that priests should marry and have kids.
The Vatican, however, has never wavered on this issue, and most active priests agree.
I think there's something very healthy and holy about trying to maintain a discipline that makes you available, fully available for people and for ministry and for what you really believe in.
Father Coutier, who has never argued against celibacy, now says he is not ruling out getting married and having children with the woman from the pictures. It's unclear what Father Coutier's role in the church will now be. In recent days, he's said that he wants to be a priest until he dies, but he's also recently said that he understands that you cannot be a married Roman Catholic priest. Coming up on this Mother's Day, the mom who says kids should be allowed to take some risks. But a 9-year-old riding the subway alone?
Not playing with the kids? Not on these legs. Poor leg circulation. Doctor says it's PAD.
Peripheral artery disease? More than doubles your risk for a heart attack or stroke.
So I hear.
Better ask your doctor about Plavix. Plavix can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke. Plavix helps keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, the cause of most heart attacks and strokes.
My cousin, the MD.
Call your doctor about Plavix.
If you have a stomach ulcer or other condition that causes bleeding, you should not use Plavix. When taking Plavix alone or with some other medicines, including aspirin, the risk of bleeding may increase. So tell your doctor before planning surgery. And always talk to your doctor before taking aspirin or other medicines with Plavix, especially if you've had a stroke. If you develop fever, unexplained weakness, or confusion, tell your doctor promptly, as these may be signs of a rare but potentially life-threatening condition called TTP, which has been reported rarely, sometimes in less than 2 weeks after starting therapy. Other rare but serious side effects may occur.
It's clear we need more energy from all sources. And most Americans agree we need more domestic oil and natural gas. But does that mean you'll see more oil and gas platforms? Well, with advanced subsea technology, one platform can now gather oil from wells 40 miles away. So what used to take many just a few years ago now takes only one. That's more of the oil and natural gas we need from less than meets the eye. Log on to learn more.
How can you get back pain relief that lasts up to 16 hours? With Thermacare heat wraps. That's 8 hours while you wear it, plus an additional 8 hours of relief after you take it off. Thermacare delivers heat that penetrates deep, warming the muscle right where it hurts to relax, soothe, and unlock tight muscles for lasting pain relief.
Even after I took Thermacare off, my back stayed loose for the next day. It allows me to move side to side without pain.
My muscles feel like this, and then after the heat gets really deep, my muscles do feel loose.
Thermacare works differently. While some other pain relief patches and creams may feel warm, they're really not.
With this, I can feel the heat going deep, deep inside of the muscles.
The warmth is so deep, the relaxation so profound, took the pain away.
So if you've got pain, go to trythermacare.com for a $3 off coupon and start using Thermacare today. And get up to 16 hours of pain relief with Thermacare.
On this Mother's Day, we are going to take a closer look at a woman who has been called America's worst mom. Lenore Skenazy is the opposite of a helicopter parent, one who hovers over her children to protect them all the time. She says kids need more independence. But as our Deborah Roberts reports, Skenazy's methods have inspired a serious debate.
Izzy Skenazy was just 9 years old when he asked his mom and dad if he could ride the New York City subway by himself. Armed with the subway map, $20, and a Metro card, they sent him off.
The whole thing took about 45 minutes, and he got home so happy.
What did it do for you, that experience?
It started a whole new feeling.
Like what?
Like more growing up.
It also sparked a firestorm of anger directed at his mom, Lenore, who wrote about it on her blog.
Why'd you do it?
What if something, God forbid it happened?
She was called naive
and dangerous.
Even worst mother in the world. She begs to differ.
When a kid comes to you and is telling you something like they're ready to try something, you have to listen and think maybe he is ready, and then you prepare him, and then you let him try it.
But I'm a mom, and I would worry that something bad would happen. Am I just a wuss?
You're not a wuss. You're living in America in 2009. When you turn on the TV, you're going to see some horrible abduction story, but, they'll have gone to Aruba to find that story.
Of course, bad things do happen to kids, but crime statistics show that the world today is no more dangerous for children than it was a generation ago. And Lenore says today's kids deserve the same freedoms their parents had. The kind of childhood like in the movie Stand By Me, where kids get to explore the world on their own, even if they might get hurt.
You just want them to have some joy in life that isn't them being taken from one place to the other, and then they're at the soccer game, then you drive them home, and it's time for homework, then it's time for Nintendo, then it's time for bed. I don't think that's a great childhood.
Some child psychologists agree.
Can I get a hot dog with ketchup?
Confidence doesn't come from telling kids you're great, you're wonderful, you're very smart. Confidence comes from kids accomplishing things.
We're depriving them of that great moment in childhood, which is the I did it myself moment. When you get yourself to the park, when you ride your bike without your dad holding on to the front.
Sounds like your mom's pretty smart sometimes.
Always. Most of the time.
Deborah Roberts, ABC News, New York.
As you might imagine, people are already weighing in on this debate at our website, abcnews.com, where Lenore Skenazy is going to be responding on our message board and where you can read an excerpt of her new book, which is entitled Free Range Kids. Coming up next, a presidential comedy routine.
Dick Cheney was supposed to be here, but he is very busy working on his memoirs, tentatively titled How to Shoot Friends and Interrogate People.
What's your Cialis moment?
When she gives me that look.
When at last we're alone.
When
we both decide.
Today, guys with erectile dysfunction can be ready with another dosing option from Cialis. Cialis for daily use is a clinically proven low-dose tablet you take every day, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right. So relax and take your time.
Tell your doctor about your medical condition and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injuries, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Today, you have options. Cialis for daily use or 36-hour Cialis. Ask your doctor if Cialis is right for you, so when the moment is right, you can be ready.
I need pain relief. that won't mess with my grip.
The new Icy Hot No Mess Applicator. Massages in long-lasting relief for shoulders, knees, backs, even arthritis. Icy to dull pain, hot to relax it away. Icy Hot No Mess Applicator.
No pain, no mess.
Retailers don't want you to see the information about to be disclosed.
Hi, I'm Tony Galata. This is my wife, Carrie Galata. This is our house, my wife's dream house. And we furnish most everything in this house with products from Direct Buy. We purchased the breakfast table and chairs. We looked at that table in some other places.
They ran around $3,500, and we picked it up for around $1,500.
If you're building, remodeling, or simply redecorating a room, there's now a way to buy virtually everything you need at prices you never imagined possible.
We've saved, I think, well over $20,000.
Just on our kitchen alone, we saved almost $10,000.
It adds up to about a $30,000 to $40,000 savings overall.
Call the number on your screen now to receive your free insider's guide to buying direct. Plus, you'll also receive a free visitor's pass for an exclusive tour of your local Direct Buy showroom. Call right now to get started buying the Direct Buy way. Stop paying retail and become part of Direct Buy, the private members-only showroom and design center. Don't wait another minute. Pick up the phone and call now.
Honey, we've got itches.
Ooh. Is it bug bite, allergy, rash, poison ivy, rat allergy?
The only medicine you need is Lanacane. It stops itching fast, kills germs too. One and only Lanacane, the every itch fighter.
This home is making their kids sick. We gotta change this. Let's go.
There is truly no place like home.
ABC's Extreme Makeover Home Edition. All new tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC.
We've seen many sides of President Obama: world leader, diplomat, husband, father, candidate. Last night, a new role: comedian. His appearance at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, one of those annual rituals of Washington, brought together the usual crowd of journalists and an unusually large number of Hollywood stars. ABC's Bill Weir was there.
It is hardly rare for politicians and entertainers to share space.
President Obama!
Public affection is the bread and butter of both vocations, after all. But never has Washington seen an A-list invasion quite like this. Oscar winners and Olympians, stars of rock, rap, and the tube. Even for jaded journalists, it was a trip to pop culture fantasy camp. Please ask me what I'm wearing, who I'm wearing.
Who are you wearing, Bill?
Men's Warehouse. Comedian Wanda Sykes headlined and earned big laughs early on.
The first black president, well, that's unless you screw up. And then it's going to be, what's up with the half-white guy, huh?
But she brought groans and rage on conservative websites with a shot at the radio host who famously hopes this president fails.
Rush Limbaugh was the 20th hijacker, but he was just so strung out on Oxycontin he missed his flight.
But even for a veteran comedian, it's almost unfair to follow a man who commands a stable of joke writers and a ballroom full of affection.
I am Barack Obama. Most of you covered me. All of you voted for me. No matter which party you belong to, we can all agree that Michelle has the right to bear arms.
His zingers were bipartisan, one for the salty-tongued chief of staff.
This is a tough holiday for Rahm Emanuel because he's not used to saying the word day after mother.
Another for a rival Republican fond of spray tan.
Even John Boehner will consider becoming a Democrat. After all, we have a lot in common. He is a person of color. Although not a color that appears in the natural world.
Makes you wonder what kind of ratings C-SPAN would enjoy if this town was like this every night. Bill Weir, ABC News, Washington.
And that's going to do it for World News on this Sunday. I'm Dan Harris. For all of us here at ABC News, thank you for watching, and happy Mother's Day.
Tonight,
We're getting married.
I'm off the hook for alimony.
What?
things are getting really desperate.
Orson's going to get half of everything.
Wouldn't it be easier to just have him killed?
ABC's Desperate Housewives, all new tonight, 9/8 Central on ABC.
A fatal confrontation between two neighbors in St. Helens. A gun versus a sword. How it followed a morning of golf. Not exactly Mom of the Year material. The Northwest mother accused of assaulting a Little League player. On the flip side,
she
It makes my heart full of joy.
The new take on whether moms think they're doing a good job. How this local mom got on the cover of Good Housekeeping.
Live at 6, this is K2 News on your side.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Song. A St. Helens man is dead after an argument with his neighbor goes too far. K2's Adam Gassimi